Hey everyone, it's Fablewind, and today we're looking at Moonwells. So, as it stands in the game right now, there are no dedicated Moonwell decor pieces, so I've created this guide to show everyone how you can create your own with the pieces we do have available. Let's go. So here's a few Moonwells that I created earlier. This is what I've currently got on the exterior of my main player house. It was one of the first pieces that I created when housing launched. And this here is an indoor Moonwell that I've got in a little barrow den that I've created inside the home. So this is going to form the basis of what the guide will be helping you create. First things first, we need to create the base structure for the Moonwell. And to do that, we're going to be using boulders. So boulders are a great decor item piece. They've got so many uses, you can build so many different things with them. The only issue I do have with them is that they're really expensive. They cost 5 each. I have been pretty vocal about this with the community and with Blizzard about hopefully maybe reducing the cost of these over time. I just think that for what they're used for, having them as 5 is just a little bit too steep. But right, I mean, there are alternatives. You can use kind of stepping stones to build a Moonwell. But I do find that boulders are just the best item to be able to do it. We're starting by building the stone circle of the Moonwell using the 3 different boulder pieces. You've got a flat piece which makes a great entrance way. It's got this natural kind of slope at the beginning, which makes a great kind of step up into the Moonwell. And then you've got this chunky piece here that when you flip it upside down, it becomes a different shape. So it's kind of 2 different shapes in one, which makes using just 3 pieces a bit more palatable because you can like adjust and flip and change the shape of it. And then there's a round piece which is good for filling in gaps. We are going to use it as the kind of capstone at the end where the archers are going to sit here. And when you kind of flip it upside down, it makes a great plinth where we can put the archers in. And we're just going to flesh out this area of plinth at the top with flat pieces. We're going to have 3 archers at the end eventually, so these flat pieces just form a little bit of a base for those archers to go on. But you don't have to do this. We have gone for a pretty standard circle pattern here. You can flip the stones upside down and have them sticking out. I've just gone for this because it makes it a little bit easier to work with, and we are going to flesh it out with different decor pieces later on. We're going to move on to the MVP of decor items here, the circular woolen rug. This is a great piece, it's got so many uses, and here we're going to flip it upside down and use that for the base of the water that's going to fill the Moonwell. You want to position this slightly above the ground. We are going to be clipping a brazier of Valoon scaled up underneath. The light effect is perfect for Moonwells. This comes from the Druid order hall. It's great. Once you position it underneath, the glowing effect goes through the rug and you've got the basis of a Moonwell basically. And then we're just going to dye the rug a Zephyrus blue. I think this is the best kind of blue for the water. Another tip is if you have the Epic Edition of Midnight, it does come with the Void Corrupted Fountain. This is another great decor piece. I'd never use it normally, but for this build, if you flip it upside down, it does have this iridescent glow that comes through the bottom of it. If you clip it underneath, it's a perfect light effect for the Moonwell. Next up, we're going to build the structure of the Moonwell. To do that, we're going to be using 3 Cenarian Archers. These come from the Druid Order Hall from the Raise an Army achievement. However, it wasn't a retroactive achievement when player housing launched, so you will have to earn this if you haven't already. I did create a guide on this. It was the first video on the channel, so thank you very much for the response to that. It's just got a few tips and tricks in there of how to complete that achievement quicker if you haven't already got it. So I will link it in the description so you can easily access it. And if you don't have the Cenarian Arch already, you need to go and earn it. What we're going to do is we're going to position 3 in a kind of semicircle pattern at the plinth at the end of the Moonwell. These are going to form the totems that you see on a traditional Night Elf Moonwell. And yeah, so we just position them there, and that's it. You've got the basic structure for the Moonwell. Next, we're going to be adding some additional details. So I'm starting with these runed Dreamweaver moonstones. They can be picked up from the Druid Order Hall once again, and I'm just adding a couple here to the entrance. If you look at the Moonwells in-game, they do have these kind of rune stones sticking out at odd angles at various places on the circle. But I think for the purposes of this, I'm just going to include a couple at the entrance. I don't want to overwhelm the piece with too many particle effects, and adding too many of these rune stones might do that, so I think sticking at 2 is just a good number to go with. Next, we're moving on to my favourite part, which is foliage. I absolutely love adding foliage to a piece. It really just adds a lot of detail, it brings the piece to life. If you've seen any of my builds on Instagram and any of my posts there, you'll notice that I use foliage absolutely everywhere, whether it's indoor, outdoor, it doesn't matter. It's just a really good detailing piece to kind of run with. So I use the Asharan Fire Spear trees a lot. They've got that kind of purple hue that really gives that Night Elf vibe. And the small boxwood bushes are really good as well. It's got this really deep green hue to it, which suits the Moonwell aesthetic perfectly. The key to detailing this piece is adding bits of foliage into small gaps or crevices that might pop up on the outer stone circle, and then picking foliage that complements each other with the different colours. So what I've opted for here is a cluster of 2 to 3 pieces. I'm really mindful of the outdoor decor limit. You don't want to stick too much on there. You could get really carried away, and I do tend to get carried away when I'm doing these clutter pieces indoors. But for this piece here, I don't want to spend all of the decor limit on this Moonwell, just so that it gives me a few more options elsewhere on the plot to add a little bit of storytelling through exterior detailing. And then finally, I finish off with the foliage by just adding some of these ivy clusters that are hanging down off the rocks. These are, again, another really good detailing piece. I use them all over my player house, indoor and outdoor. So I just add here, dropping down at the back, and that should be it. That would be all the foliage done, and your Moonwell is pretty much complete. There's just one final piece that I like to add to my Moonwells, and that's the Sentinel's Moonwing Gaze. So this is a decor piece that comes from Legion Remix, and as of the time of recording of this video, Legion Remix is still on, so I would recommend going out and grinding some bronze to be able to get this for cheaper than when it goes to the live game. But it's a fantastic piece that has a really cool iridescent blue glow to it, so it fits perfectly between the central arch on the Moonwell and just adds a little bit of extra flavour in the storytelling. And there you have it, your Moonwell is done. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. It was a ton of fun to make. So please like, share, and of course subscribe for more build content coming up. I've got loads more planned for the launch of Midnight, so I'd love to see you along for the journey. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.